Hello, I have watched now for the next, oh my god, the next three episodes of Star Trek Prodigy. That being, uh, that being, is there in beauty no truth, and the two parts of it, Devourer of all things. I watched, is there in beauty no truth last night, and then I felt sleepy. No, actually, I watched it before. I don't actually know. Can't remember. But I just watched The Survival Things now. Oh, like a few hours ago. And so here are my thoughts as best I can remember. And we are finally getting into like the meat of things, the sense of adventure and joy and tenseness and excitement that I was feeling. I think probably at mid time from the last season. Um, so is there any beauty, no truth is actually kind of a fun episode about self exploration. Essentially, Zero finds a colony of Medusans who have found a planet that lets them create a living body that you can put a consciousness in. And they believe that you have to stay on. Well, I mean, I'm cutting a bit to the end of the chase here, but they believe that this is a planet that you have to stay on in order to keep your body. That may or may not be true. After Zero leaves, no one's ever tried it, but it also explains why kind of this is not a common thing. So that's kind of a nice little thing there. Um, but it's a really like lovely kind of episode where Zero gets given a body and has to like experience oh those physical sensations for the first time. Um, comes her, including this like nice twist to put in about how. So it's actually kind of a nice. It's actually kind of really sorry. My words are. I talked about how my gums were hurting, and then my mind went to in the loop for some reason. A nice twist in this episode. It's not really a twist. It's a kind of a nice like creative take on the whole self-expression body thing. So Zero is obviously a non-corporeal being who can is fairly resistant to a lot of things because they're being non-corporeal. Now they're corporeal, which so in a sense they're more susceptible to being harmed in certain ways. So part of their tradition on this planet is once you get your corporeal body, you've got to go through what is essentially a dangerous obstacle course where there is a real fear of death to basically teach you because you haven't grown up learning to be afraid of getting hurt. So now this is trying to put into you that sense of fear, let you understand that sense of fear, and understand that sense of fear is a way to kind of protect yourself. And it's actually kind of interesting because I don't think that's really a concept that I get explored a lot in these similar stories where something that's non-corporeal gets put into corporeal form, or something that is immortal gets made mortal. And it's kind of a nice concept to explore. And I think this was a nicely paced episode. Usually, a lot of the episodes are rushed. I'm trying to tackle their concept before the next episode takes over to tackle their concept. I think was roughly like kind of a nice amount of time for it. Again, the other things to do in terms of just have downtime, but it's very much a Zero kind of vehicle episode. Zero gets a chance to kind of explore elements of the character and develop, and then they choose ultimately to steer the crew with their new mortal body, and that's obviously going to carry on in future episodes. And then the of all things has a surprise return of Wesley Crusher as his kind of time traveling powerful alien trans-dimensional self that I like kind of continues. I haven't actually seen the episode where Wesley leaves, but I'm kind of familiar with what kind of happens in it. And I like this kind of follows through from that. Like he's not this like Hugh like being, but he's also not human anymore. He's kind of this really weird thing, and like I'm sure I'm sure Will Wheaton enjoyed the opportunity to kind of go very loopy with the non-linear aspects and like the character being, you know, kind of crazy, but it makes sense to be crazy when you don't see the world in the kind of coherent form. And this was a good episode to have as a two-parter. It was a very tense episode. They introduced these, I think they called them kind of like time carnivores or something like that. But it's actually very interesting. It's actually a very scary creature, and a very formidable creature. And I think it kills like a whole bunch of the Voyager crew. Nothing kills. It's very much like Weeping Angels. It's more like the time field in series 5 of Doctor Who. That kind of, if you get caught by it, you never have existed to everyone who. The simulation is everyone who either didn't, not necessarily people who didn't see people who didn't see it happen, but if you're not protected by your time like bracelet as it happens, if you get these people ever existed, which is obviously a much more scarier prospect. And I think we see at least like dozens of people get killed this way, which for Star Trek Prodigy is a fairly high death count. I'm not even convinced we've even had so much of a death count until now. So this show went really dark with that. And the creature design is actually quite terrifying. It's very much like the Reapers in Doctor Who. But yeah, and I also like the way that Wesley worked his whole Wesley worked his whole, my cat just body slammed my keyboard and mouse and almost killed the stream. Where Wesley was kind of able to like manipulate his environment around him. Like the powers aren't clearly defined, but I think it's easy to kind of extrapolate. His whole attitude to things, like his seriousness around the issue, but his inability to really take things seriously when he's kind of his whole like casual peace self. The references to like supervisors, and Wesley's past, the kind of old 60s era home being a safe area for the supervisors. The fact that travelers have like abandoned that reality. The way they've explained kind of how time travel works in a way that's kind of like clearer than with the previous explanations we've got in the series, so kind of help mop that up as well. Fact that this is now because of the specific nature of the wormhole, this is like a bubble area that everything else is being protected from, but eventually it'll kind of continue to damage itself. Things like that. I'm not even very coherent, but that's because it's like 10 to 2. I love the parts where Voyager came in, basically like saved the day and did like shot at the carnivore to get attention, and like Voyager has this kind of like Janeway and Voyager has kind of stand where they put themselves at risk to others. Janeway did the whole kind of like heroic classic Janeway move of taking a shuttlecraft, fighting one-on-one an alien, taking a phaser rifle and wearing a vest. Very classic Janeway stuff, very cool. And then we end with finding the Pro Star, finally, like the modern or slightly past. I'm getting, my mind's not going to figure out now because I'm too tired. I'm getting a bit muddled with the timeline here, but I'll figure it out. But we found they've gone to the planet that found the Pro Star, and seeing top of it is Chakotay with a beard. So yeah, those are my thoughts on these episodes. Sorry, I'm doing it a disservice because I'm just very, very like out of it right now with how sleepy I am. And I need to do a reaction video to Star Wars Acolyte. So I'm gonna go do that. And this is actually just part 1 of Prodigy done now. So we've done half the episodes, and we've got part 2 to watch. So look forward to that. Anyway, like I said, time for me to go and start a new stream for Acolyte. I'm going to do that, and I'll see you later on when I watch more episodes. Okie dokie. Goodbye.